Well, hello everybody. Now that you can actually see me now, Mystic, because now I hit live. All right. Thankfully, the YouTube stream did not kick on as muted to begin with, so there's no echo, which is nice to be able to do. It's one of those things. I hit the countdown. It starts at 30, and it takes almost that 30 seconds before YouTube catches on and says, "Oh, you're doing live now," and let's see now, and also not only is Mystic Railroad here, but also Wigwag Workshop. All right, let's go back to that. Excuse me. Yes, YouTube is clunky. Ooh, grandson's birthday party. Well, good for you. Hopefully, fun was had by all. And it's also, your gaze pierces iron, steel, and concrete and fiber optics. Well, that's why you're called Mystic, right? Ooh, 11. To be at that age and not have any not to have any responsibilities, or very, not I would have to say not life-threatening responsibilities, like keeping yourself fed and all that, because that's your parents' responsibility at that age. But I'm not sure how many people were at the NMRA X yesterday. I was there for some of it. Some of it was interesting, and then there's the other things that I was like, it was interesting, but not my take on things. One of the things that were on there were mini dioramas, and they're cute little things and all that, and they're only about yay big. They were set up to be N scale, and basically to get get kids in the hobbies. Like, oh, here's this cute little thing, and you can do whatever you want with it as long as the trains are able to run on it. Small piece of cake, but had 3 cupcakes. I have a feeling the cupcakes were larger than the piece of cake. There was a conversation. I think Heath from Humanity Junction was involved, where they were talking about somebody's birthday party was coming up, and somebody wanted to know, would it be easier, instead of having a cake that you cut, just make the entire cake cupcakes, and then then just put the frosting on all the cupcakes, so it would look like a cake, a single layer cake, but you wouldn't have to cut it, because all you had to do was just grab a cupcake. I would have to say, me being lazy, I was like, I would go that direction, but it seemed to somehow have a very heavy debate. Our cupcakes able to be cakes, but that was the silliness of the moment. To me, it was like going like, it's amazing on how some people get annoyed over a small detail. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Yeah, I've heard of that debate. I think my view on it would be more like a hot dog. A hot dog is a taco. Is cupcake truly a cake? If I remember correctly, they use the same. It's the same exact batter and all that, or pastry. That's a question for my sister. She's the ones that likes to cook and all that. So she might. Is Sloppy Joe a hamburger? I haven't had a Sloppy Joe in decades, so I do not know. I would have to say a hamburger is a sandwich. You got two pieces of bread, with stuffing in the center. So it's one of those things of as you get older and all that, things get more and more complicated. That is soft shell taco a burrito? No, I actually used to work for Taco Bell, and hello there, real artists. Yeah, it's in a bun, so it's slit. So it's slit. The buns are not separated, but a hamburger and bread is a patty melt. A Sloppy Joe. Well, hello there, Container Man. Thank you for wandering in. I was actually not expecting having a debate about food. Well, if you fold the salsa into a burrito, yes, you could. Yeah, you can make it into a burrito, but a soft shell taco is still still a taco because you're sort of like taking things and putting on the side. And there was I forgot there was a YouTube channel that actually just goes into the history of the taco. I'm not sure if it's Tasting History with Max Miller, but I would not be surprised that it might have been him. But yeah, I guess the current version of the hard shell taco. Hello there, Curly Express. Yeah, so apparently the current idea of a taco is actually an American invention in California by Taco Bell. So it's one of those things of which I didn't know when I was working for Taco Bell, but it was this history YouTube channel went through the whole entire thing, and they actually started with the soft tortillas. It wasn't until Taco Bell took the idea and put it into a hard shell. So if people are more interested in that, I guess taco history, you search taco history, and I want to because I know Tasting History with Max Miller actually did a thing on tacos, but I'm not quite sure if that was the one I actually saw it on. I probably did. I watch him a lot. But the thing is that if I actually had cooking skills and all that, I would actually be interested. I have an idea to do a collaboration with him, but Uh, I'm not. I will not pretend to be someone who can cook well. I can cook to survive. I cannot cook to impress. So, ooh, great day. It was a great day, Ralph and his great people. Hmm. Well, that's the important thing is um, having the importance of having fun with the hobby. Um, but yeah, I was doing NMRAX yesterday. Uh, there were some things that were sort of kind of interesting, and then there were some things that were like once I figured out what the quote secret was, it's like going like, oh, okay, uh, there was that's now rail artist. Did you actually uh, have you eaten it yet? Or I mean, it's not a good sign that chili is kicking you before you eat it. That's usually not a good idea. All right. Well, I have been known to be wrong before, so and a lot of times it's like I mean, sometimes these people that do history channels and all that. I mean, there is that possibility of getting a detail wrong. Nice. Yeah, that's that's one of those things of Taco Tia turned into Taco Bell. Oh, okay. That explains that might have been the misinterpretation. With the saying it was Taco Bell, but it was the earlier incarnation of Taco Bell. Okay. Had a full bowl of rice, cheese on top. Still getting my cone. Well, I would hope that you haven't. I know your wife is not feeling her top best. I hope you didn't give her that, and and I mean, if you're having trouble, I'm assuming she would have more trouble. But if your colon's moving like Ginger Rogers, you might want to see a doctor. Ah. Now, our Taco Tico's. Are they owned by Pepsi like Taco Bell is, or they stay not affiliated with Pepsi? Because that was one of the things that I guess Pepsi wound up shooting themselves in the foot because it was one of those things of when they decided to buy Taco Bell, Pepsi, and KFC. I get basically all the Coca-Cola dealers, not Coke dealers, the Coca-Cola dealers. All they said is, "Hey, they're your competition now." Because I remember when Burger King used to have Pepsi products. Then when they bought the three setups, yep, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC. Uh, they changed over to Coca-Cola products. Uh, yeah, there was a place. I'm trying to think where it is now. There was a place that, every now and then you would get combination ones where it's like usually be KFC and Taco Bell. But there was one that was a Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, all in one building. Didn't mean to do that, Mystic, but oh well. Thing is, I ate before I started, so I'm not hungry. But there was in Schenectady a Taco Bell. It was, what was that? It was a Taco Bell. One of the yogurt places, and yes, A&W and Longizer are also offended. Yeah, it's like Long John. Yeah, I think they. Because I remember there was a Long John Silver's KFC at one point. Yeah, also owned by Pepsi. There was a place that where I lived near. It's called Jensen's. Unfortunately, it just recently closed, but it started out as an A&W stand. In fact, if you go into the building, it has a very weird entrance because you see where there's like a wall. There's a wall with windows on there, which makes if you look at it, it's like that's pretty peculiar and all that. Unless you realize that it was originally a stand. It didn't have the restaurant part. It was basically you drove up, you went and you ordered stuff and all that, and then you picked up your order. Sort of like a lot of stuff is now. Yeah, it's a very cool organization. There's pretty cool people. When I first was introduced to the NRA, this was before DCC, and I guess the idea of everything could be standardized was standardized. They didn't need to, to work over standardizations, nitpicking over small little details and all that. But other than that, it was fish, tuna, lobster. Okay. Yeah, the Jensen's wound up when I guess when A&W was bought out by Pepsi, they decided to go on. They were a franchise, so they sort of still went on their own. And they still did the A&W fountain drink right then and there. And I think they had like frosted mugs and all that. But I think towards when I moved to Vermont, they had gotten to, I guess, away from that was their thing, was their A&W, but they sort of went around for that. Well, hello there, Sparky. Thank you for coming in. I hope you have eaten beforehand. Because apparently we're talking about food. Which is, in order to roll it back to model railroads and all that, well, that's how food got around at times. There was a thing that I just recently came across. Apparently, during the Great Depression, they did. Welcome to the Food Network. There was a car built for Borden during the Great Depression called. I'm trying to think what it was called now. The Depression Baby, and it was a full. It was a fully operational. Not sure if it was a refrigerator car or a milk car, because it was for Hood. It was an experimental car that was built, and it was a four-wheel. It was a four-wheel boxcar, so it could have been an enclosed tanker also. But I guess it was an experiment that didn't really take off, because there was only one that was an experiment. And the discussion is that they're trying to find the correct ends on it, because somebody wants to make a model of it, and it's a very cute little car. That's one of the things I'm in the process of doing, is figuring out when the four-wheel car went out of service in the United States. You're going to build a hot dog stand in HO scale. Nice. Yeah, I would have to say, since I'm doing mostly rural stuff, I don't think I can get away with doing something along those lines. But it is what it is. So, well, I probably should poke at the diorama. So I will do that. All right, time to change. Well, I mean, it's one of those things of, people may or may not be foot longer, just 6 inches. They could probably, get the one, the small little 3-inch ones. There's a place in Watervliet, New York, that's known for their, basically very small hot dogs, which are pretty cheap. When I first started going there as an adult, I believe they were like 50 cents a piece. Now, it's called Gus's Hot Dogs. They taste good, but they're not, once you call, oh my God, these are fantastic, they're like going like, it's good. But Little Smokies, I would have to say not. I think Little Smokies, or the cocktail hot dogs, are about this big. These are about twice as long. They when I first started there, I think the hot dogs were, wait a second, they might have been 50 cents a piece. But I do remember that they had a sausage sandwich that was 75 cents. That was the big huge thing of, oh my God. Last time I was there, that same exact sized and the sausage is only about that big. Again, it's small mouthfuls almost. But I think the last time I was there, was $1.35 or something like that. And the thing is, with the Gus's hot dogs, they actually are set up where they can do lots of them. I mean, there's times that it's a very small little restaurant. I think they have 2 booths in the back. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 10 stools on the inside, and they have a delivery window on the outside. But interesting. Barbecue jam to the barbecue sauce. Yeah, it's interesting. Every now and then, it's like you hear something, and it's like, oh, if you put this and this, and it's like, did they go together? Then you taste it, and they're like, okay, they do go together. There was one time the first time I was introduced to Thailand chicken. It's like they're turning around, they're making stuff and all that, and instead of using tomato-based sauce that I'm used to and all that, they were putting grab the jar of peanut butter and start pouring it in there. It was like, I don't think those go together. It's like, oh, it's Thai. That's how they normally do it. And it's like, nah. And then all of a sudden, I took a small piece and started okay, I'll try anything. And then it's like, oh, okay, this does go together. But just there's some tea that I get through Aldi's, and they have a chai tea, which I've happened to come across that chai and tea are they're words that are that are actually meaning the same thing. So chai is a tea. It's just that chai is a different language than English. But this chai tea from Aldi's, actually, after a while, it's like the picture shows what the ingredients are, and I know one is cinnamon. It's like, all right, cinnamon. So I actually read the ingredients today. It's like cinnamon, green tea, cinnamon, pepper, which I was actually surprised about, because usually you don't think of putting pepper in tea, but apparently this has pepper in it. That's what sort of threw me. That's what I'm like mind blown. And I think ginger, and I forgot what some of the other ingredients, but it's like drinking this chai, it's like, oh wow, it's like you can definitely tell the cinnamon there is, but I was surprised that there's pepper in there. But all right, let's go to settings. It's one thing I just don't like about I do not like about StreamYard is that changing cameras is annoyingly. So let's repaint. Turn around and repaint the base, because I do have new paint. However, since it's this is the original base color, and this is you can barely see the X crossed underneath it and all that. It was it's a reject paint color. So wound up getting another one. This was the closest, another one that big huge dent in it. They screwed it up to say that, hey, don't this is a bad color. And so what they did, they painted on this is what's on the top, but I guess the customer didn't like it, so got it for $6. And but as you can tell, it's a much lighter brown. And I was basically told the paint guy, it's like, yeah, I'm just looking for something as a base coat, sort of like a very bad primer for a model train set. Get it close to brown, or brownish, or tan, or go with something that's with the ground cover that you have. I should have shaken this up first. Of course, I should have knocked this down a little bit more. But all right. All right, Mystic. Thank you for coming in. And hopefully health is on. Yeah. I was trying to come up with an idea of something that would be very profound, and I'm failing badly. But thank you for coming. I guess all that talk about different foods and all that got him hungry. All right. Now, I would have to say this particular brown is very yellowish and looks very southwestern. And it looks like Dijon mustard. I was going to say that old commercial Grey Poupon was like, no. Grey Poupon actually is slightly grayer. Yeah, oranges. It is not. Well, the interesting thing is, there's another YouTube channel. Seems that we're talking about other YouTube channels that have nothing to do with model trains. This particular session. It's called Technology Connections. And basically what this guy does is that he goes through different technologies and goes through the different history on different technologies. And one of the technologies he has going, he has talked about different things like everything from light bulbs and sort of the history from incandescent. One would be about the incandescent light bulb, and then he talks about fluorescence, and then the next episode might be LEDs, and things like that. I mean, he did the whole thing on traffic lights, which it's one of those things of he didn't do anything that was railroad specific. It was more, your generic, generic types of uh, of signaling and stuff like that. He did a whole thing on taillights for cars and how he doesn't like the North American version of taillights that you have it. You can have it as just red. You don't have to have the yellow taillights. And he was sort of venting on that because it was one of those things of. And I sort of kind of agree with him because it's like if everything's red, the question is it a brake light that somebody's tapping their feet on, or is it an actual braking signal or something like that? Whereas if having actual all right, let's try that. But he had a whole thing on. He actually had a whole thing on the color brown, and what he said that brown is the only color that requires context. And at first, it's like I'm like, what do you mean it requires context? The thing is that brown is not in the rainbow. You look at all the colors of the rainbow, brown is not one of those colors. And he did a thing of showing that it require the reason for that is that brown requires a brighter what is it now? A brighter contrast than a darker contrast. And he actually showed it. Basically what he did was flip the background from white to black. And when it was white, he didn't change the color of what was in the center. And when it was white, it looked brown. However, when the background went to black, it looked dark orange. And that's what that's what he was saying, is that brown requires context for us to identify it. And this probably needs to be shaken up a little bit better, but I didn't feel too safe not redoing it, but having it this thick actually fills in the holes. But it's a nice channel. Sometimes he did a whole thing on different kinds of, as I said, light. Not only did he went through the electric light bulb, but he also went through all sorts of lighting that was available. And each little section was a different I'm trying to think now, a different type of technology. And it makes sense with technology connections, because he's connecting all the different technologies together. Now, the reason why I'm recovering all the brown is because there are spots that still have white peeking out. So that's my thought process on that. But yeah, this is definitely more like an orange. But the interesting thing is that this also, I want to say, is more representative of the ground that is around where I'm currently living. Uh, there's a lot of marble in the area, and apparently, dirty marble looks orange. It looks very much like this color. So unintentionally, this also matches the rocks I use for the riverbed a lot better also. But it's one of those things of when you pick up ugly paint that no one wants, you don't have that much of a choice. I mean, they had a lot of pinks, blues, greens. Actually, not that many greens, but there were definitely a lot of pinks, blues. This is the only thing that was relatively towards a brown. So for only $6, not gonna. I'm using it more as a sealer. Speaking of sealing stuff, here's a bare patch of underlying cardboard. So let's fill that up, seal that off. All right. Well, one thing I have to do, I need to do it relatively soon, is actually reorganize the workbench. You don't see, beyond the camera range of like, oh, there's a flat spot. I'll put this here temporarily. And it's gotten to the point of going like, okay, if I want to bring my layout back up here, I'm going to have to clean all the stuff that's not within sight. But all right, let's swing this around so I can get the other side and look at things that I cannot see. Whoa, don't you dare. All right. So, all right, now we got this over here where we couldn't see before, since it was behind stuff. Not that much there. We have a whole bunch on this side. Yeah, if you look on this side, there's a whole bunch of white still showing, but this is also the side that might not be seen. Oh, that would have been. This is just not right. Because this thing, this spills, it's going to ruin a lot of stuff. So let's get this thing painted quickly so I can turn around and cap this. Now, question is I have, who is on Sidetrack Sunday tonight? I think last week was Heath. I should actually probably ask what the new schedule is and all that, so I can turn around and go, hey, this week it's this person. without asking people here, or like, who is it tonight? Should actually write it down. I know Ray is, I believe Ray is first. I think, yeah, actually, let's see. I think it's Ray, Heath, Ray, Heath, Rick. No, wait a second. It's John, Ray, Heath, Ray. All right, gotcha. Thank you, Wigwag. It's one of those things of while I'm thinking, I should turn around and look at the. If I, when I ask the chat for answer, I should look at the chat. All right. All right. Okay, so that's that. All right, so we're going to let that dry. All right, now we can. All right, now this will have to be dried off camera, because I think I'm pretty much done with that. Next thing I need to do with this is figure out a way to flatten this out completely, or sort of like re-straighten this out so everything is relatively level again, so I can add the track. Not sure if I'm able to save this with these ties. I might have to try these off camera and get maybe a straight blade or something along those lines to sort of go in and see about salvaging those, or at least salvage at least one, so I can reset my chopper to the correct spacing, so I can chop more. I'm going to need to be able to chop more ties, so I can increase the length, because the original length only goes to there. I'm going to need not quite twice as much, but after that, after straightening that out and repaint this black, and turn around and see about making trying to make this more as an actual, a road bed, or at least something that can convincingly look like a road bed or riverbed. But I guess that be for pretty much for now. Got about 5 more minutes to babble on and all that. So let's say we switch over cameras. Ooh, that reminds me. I gotta take pictures of these. This is the discussion of the 4-wheeled vehicles and all that. I could turn around and say, yes, there's somebody that is manufacturing 4-wheeled boxcars. Let's see. Need to find Conguino. Conguino model sticker, because that's a Chris Course from Congarino Models is the one that went and built and designed these. Interesting story with the 25 footer that he has. He basically made a flat car. He made a 25-foot flat car, and he also made a 36-foot flat car. He turned around and made a box car using the 36-inch box car. And I turned around and I politely asked of, can you do the same thing with the 25 footer? Because I was looking for something a little bit smaller. And he goes, well, it's like, he was hesitant because he didn't know if anyone would buy any. And so since he knew he had at least a buyer for at least 4, he turned around and, made the 25 or 24-foot version. And then later on, he was looking at the LaBelle, the LaBelle bobber caboose trucks, and he said, hey, can get these? And then he turned around and he designed a 4-wheel, what he's called the bobber boxcar. This is as built. As you can see, it has the toolbox underneath. This is going to be made more of as a maintenance way vehicle. So this is going to be heavily weathered and look very not well maintained. Whereas this one, I cut out the toolboxes and the bar that went straight across to make a in-revenue car. So this is a car that's for revenue. So I'm going to make this one not as not maintained. I actually have 2 more of these to go. So I'll have 3 in revenue and 1 non-revenue. So, and also to add to the discussion that they're having about 4-wheeled boxcars in the U.S. They're very common over in Europe, but they were common in the U.S. at one point in time. So, all right, let's switch over. Also, in lathe news, I did wind up getting my the 4-jaw chuck. So right now I'm waiting for a couple other things, for the order to be done. Did they do a switch this month? I do not know, Wigwag. But it's one of those things of a lot of times that when they do stuff and all that, they turn around and they usually let people know ahead of time. But that's another thing I don't. Well, with all the streaming things I've seen so far, especially with the ones that are quote free, previewing it when you switch cameras is not there. So let's go over here. Let's see what YouTube says. Back on track. Repo Bell. Live. Yes. April 23, 23, 10 are waiting. So, all right. Well, I'll guess I'll see everybody over there. Over at Ray's Live. And got 2 more minutes. Well, 2 more minutes, but then again, I did start up a little late, and I think Wigwag has been here the whole time. Thank you for doing that. I think Mystic was was right afterwards. So, well, I guess I'll see everybody at people who are going to go over to Ray's Ray's live stream. So I guess I'll see everybody there. So I'll give you a 15-minute break between shows and all that, and then we can go there. Yes, you have a great week yourself, Wigwag, and same with everybody else and anyone who's watching this in the future. So like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Keep on forgetting that. Yep, see you next week. TC. What's TC? I don't know all the lingo. So, TC. Tenacious Canadian? I doubt it, but I could be wrong. Oh, take care. Thank you. All right. Yes, take care, everyone. Find your passions, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. See you later.